I've been watching this video about Final Fantasy 13 and what happened and all this other stuff, right? And it's just like I kind of want to stop watching these type of videos, cause it's just like a bunch of people. Like, I don't know who these dudes are, but they on YouTube and everything, and it's just like all they do is it's just a lot of speculation, right? It's just like a lot of speculation of like what happened, what did this do? Oh, we think they did this, we think they're doing that. And it's like, you don't know what you're really talking about. Like I said, it's just a bunch of speculation. Like, you're not at the studio to know, like, okay, they did this. They did this because of that and all this other shit. You see what I'm saying? Like I said this before in a video somewhere. I was like, these dudes, all they do, like if it's a Japanese game, like Final Fantasy, whichever the case is, like whatever Final Fantasy, like 13, or like if they're doing something about Final Fantasy, like the third installment to Final Fantasy 7, it's like pretty much all they're doing is waking up early enough to like go on their Twitter and see like what they're saying or doing, and then they're getting the information from like a translator, or they're translating the thing, and they're just making the video early, like in the morning before everybody wakes up. And it's just like, it just makes it gives the illusion like, oh yeah, this dude knows what he's talking about. And it's just like, but you don't, though. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're not in the room with any of the developers, like on some real shit, where they're telling you, oh yeah, this is what this meant, this is why we cut this out, this is what we did. And so it's just like I said, it's just a lot of speculation with these dudes when they really don't know anything. And like the guy that I'm watching, he's like, cause it's no shade to this dude, but they asked him, like, for those who don't know, what is an engine? Like a game engine. And dude is running like down the list of like, assets and libraries, licensing. Like some engines you gotta pay a licensing fee. Like if you have your own engine, you do everything in house, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. It is like, again, saying all this stuff gives the illusion like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. But it's like this thing is like 2 hours. It's 2 hours long. 2 hours and some change. And it's just like I said, it's just a lot of like, most of the stuff, like, yeah, he remembered whatever the thing is. But like I said, ultimately, again, it's just a lot of speculations. Just like this other dude. And he always talks about this very popular game, this third person shooter game. It's very popular. Everybody knows it, and everybody's waiting for it to come out. And it's like, you've been doing this ever since I seen this dude back in 2015. But okay, but they're not telling you anything, though. Like I said, it's just a bunch of speculation, and you're going off of somebody else that's basically saying this, like you're making a video based off of a dude who technically knows a little bit more than you, but you're just reiterating what he said. and they're not even telling him nothing. Like it's just like this. Now this game I'm coming up with, I'm not gonna say the name, but it's basically like Space Invaders. But in the main, in Black Dragon number 8, which is my main story that I came up with, like even, okay, making this, here's the story behind this. Something happened in real life that I was like, I need to make something to get me out of this situation, right? But theoretically speaking, this is a game for people to play. But in Black Dragon number 8, which is the main thing, it's basically like a TV show or a video game that people in Black Dragon number 8 plays. But the planes, like these fighter, like these spaceships, are basically like in Black Dragon number 8, they're like this Easter egg that you could, like, some of the characters are going to find, or like I don't have kids in real life, but my daughters in Black Dragon number 8, 2 of them are mechanics. You're going to see them basically kind of like rebuilding the ships. That's the general idea. Now, it could change down the line. Now, if somebody doesn't hear this, they're going to just make some speculation of just anything that they made up. And then, you know, they will be on YouTube, being platform, and they'll be like, oh, what do you think BC Dixon did for this game? And they'll just be making up some stuff like, well, you know, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And the stuff they're saying is not even the real story. But it's just like their platform, they have enough, like, people watching their videos. They have enough people, like, subscribe to them. So it seems like they're legit and just making up some story. But whatever they say, most likely isn't the real story. Like I said, I'm making this in real life out of a necessity. But like in Black Dragon number 8, it's basically like a video game, like how it is in real life. But it's like I said, these dudes, like this guy is, like I said, it's just you just speculating, really. Like, you don't know what Square Enix is trying to do with whatever the game, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Or just like this popular video game, like, you've been doing this shit since this shit like came out. And it's just like, but you're not an insider though, bro. Like, and then these dudes that claim they're insiders, they're not even being told the real story. You're just getting bits of information. So I'm just like, I mean, it's just like, even with me, all I could do is just basically tell, like, how it is on my shit. That's pretty much all I can do. Like, anything else, it would just be me speculating. Like even some games, we'll say that took a long time to make. Like, even with development hell, right? It could be different ways in different scenarios why games are in development hell or come out the way they do. So trying to pinpoint exactly why, like, if some dude on YouTube is like, well, I think they did this or I believe they did that, then that's not like a real thing. Like, your beliefs and what you think is not like a legitimate thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, it could be a myriad of different things and reasons why certain games are in development or why they take so long to make. and some of the times, like with this one game, I just honest like me, like, okay, certain people will have certain weight in this shit. If you're just a dude on YouTube speculating, you don't hold as much weight as a developer that knows how the sausage is made, basically. Like, I could sit up here and be like, this one company is taking a long time to make something. Given how, like, I know how to, like, obviously, like, be a game developer, and I'm just a one-man team doing all this stuff. Like, I got over 350 characters. I got a whole bunch of, like, you know, clothes, weapons, you know, guns, melee weapons like swords, shields, spears, all this other stuff, right? Like nunchucks, everything. If I could do all of that in 5 years by myself, was 6 years really. If I could do all of this in 6 years, why do you think a team with over 400 or maybe like 1,000, why they, like, you got a staff that big, why are you taking this long? You see what I'm saying? Now, in my experience, I don't have to answer to anybody. Like, I'm my own concept designer. I'm not trying to say like I'm like flexing or like, cause I don't like that whole like people just like think they could just do everything, or like they grind and this grinded culture. It's like I have no friends, I have nobody. Like I have to do everything myself. I wish I could find somebody to take the load off with what I'm doing now. But I can't. I don't know anybody. So I have to do this all myself. So if one person could do all this stuff that could take like, what, like a team of 400 or 1,000, it's just like, you just gotta be like, why are they taking so long to make this game? So generally speaking, it could be because, you know, the higher ups wanted this, you know, like the devs, which is an umbrella term, because that could be anybody. That could be animators, riggers, that could be you know, people that do the materials, the texturing, the level design, everything. When you, because I remember Ed Boon said this. Back in the day, if he had to make a change, it was just like 4 dudes that made the first Mortal Kombat. Now, he gotta go, if he wants to make a change, he gotta go through 30 people. Like Ed Boon, who created the first, like one of the dudes who created the first Mortal Kombat ever back in the 90s. Which I remember playing. Y'all motherfuckers wasn't even born then. If he has to go through 30 people, like obviously if there's like a big change, now you gotta go back to the concept artist, you gotta do a whole bunch of shit just to make this one change. Now, say if you was like I would say like a quarter way into development, and somebody was like, yeah, we wanted this medieval setting, but now I changed my mind. Now I want it to be in the city. Now it's like, oh shit. You see what I'm saying? That's how it generally is. But like I said, but again, there could be a whole different thing. Like, what was it? Like Cyberpunk was supposed to be a third-person shooter until some dude got on board and was like, nah, I wanted the first person. And then they was like, oh, then we got to redo all this shit. Like, half of the shit went. But like I said, some random guy is just like speculating the whole way through. And like, okay, it's cool that y'all conversating and shit, but it's just like when you're doing the thing, like when you're like like some 3D artist, you know, 3D modeling, and or you're, you know, you do the characters and everything, and then you hear some random guy that's not in the video game industry that just reads like quote unquote behind the scenes, and it gets on YouTube and be like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. It's just kind of like, yeah, really though. It's just like, nah. And then you got some people, like I was gonna make a separate video about this, but I might as well say this. It's just like some people want to delegitimize certain programs, I would say. But ultimately speaking, like this, like more often than not, the main two program files are FBX and OBJ. If I wanted to port this over to like another engine or another editing software, it could be done. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm on this or not. If I make a model here, I could move it over with the OBJ or FBX file. So trying to delegitimize this one, it's just like, see, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just trying to make a quote unquote joke, and the joke doesn't even make sense. It's just like that whole thing, like, what was that, like little Wojak or whatever the fuck that shit is, and they're like, it's a gray dude, and they're like, oh, you're an NPC just because like the Wojak or the model is gray. And it's like, I never found that funny, because even the main character is gray. Like, everything is gray. Like I said, like this the hero, like this is the hero to like lead ship. This shit is gray. Everything is gray until you put a material on that bitch. Like I just, like, trying to make that into a joke was dumb. To me, it was dumb. Like, all models are gray no matter what it is. And like I said, until you put a material on it. Like, wait, this is, I didn't put a material on this one. Not yet. But like, see, this is like the hero, this is the hero ship. This, like, it's being worked on. But until you put a material on this shit, all models are gray. See, so that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the result of the internet, and people don't know what they're talking about. And you're not, a lot of people ain't educated. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what is this? Like I said, without the materials, all characters are gray. But that's what I'm saying. You got these dudes that just speculating and don't know what they're talking about. And I take this shit very serious. Like, very serious. Like, this is not like a, even though I'm making a game, but this is not a game to me, though. So I'm just like, bro. That's like, I'm just watching these dudes. I think it's 3 of them, and I'm just sitting here. I'm just sitting back, like, okay, like, whatever the case is with Final Fantasy, but it's like okay, but it's like, okay, like, since you're saying this, it's like I said, most of the stuff that you're saying is just speculation. And you're just on this this quote unquote podcast, because everybody got a podcast, and you're like one of the dudes that's just like talking about it. But nobody at Square was telling you that this is actually what happened. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. Until I figure out, so because I feel like I'm missing something, but until I figure out something, I'll just make a part 2 to this video. But yeah, I'll just make a part 2 of this shit. But yeah, like I said, it's just like, man, y'all, like, okay, this is the other thing that I was gonna say. If you was gonna make a podcast of like talking about something, if you're big enough, or whatever the case is, get like an actual game developer from the thing that you're talking about, or get somebody in this shit. But then even if like you get somebody, there's a lot of stuff they can't talk about, because it's like these game companies are like the fucking government. Like there's just certain things that they can't say, you know, because the NDAs, or like they're just internal memos, or like whatever the case is. Like there's just a lot that they can't say. So like even talking to them is kind of like we ain't gonna get like the whole story basically. So it's just kind of like, you know, how much could they really divulge basically? But like again, I mean, just actually get some actual dude. Don't just get some guy just speculating this shit. But that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm out.